What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to cover how to effectively fight and use Dark Phoenix. Now, I know Dark Phoenix, as of right now, is an incredibly exclusive champion, but that doesn't mean you're not going to see her on defense all the time in the Alliance War and Battlegrounds content. And you might even see her in story content going forward. Who knows? So, because of that, I thought it would be a good idea to show how to fight Dark Phoenix, and also, if you have her as a 6 or a 7 star, how to properly use her, because she's not just a defender, she's actually an incredibly consistent and reliable attacker. So we'll show off offense first, and then we'll show off defense, because offense is very simple, defense gets a little more complex. So, offense abilities first. She gains these Phoenix Flame Ember charges. Now, these are for offense and defense, but we're going to be talking about offense first. These charges increase the potency of Dark Phoenix's Nova Flames by 20%. Dark Phoenix inflicts Nova Flame passives after her special attacks that deal massive damage, especially when you've ramped up those Ember charges and also have the Big Fury from the special too. At the end of the day, her offensive rotation is fairly simple. You want to do full 6-hit combos ending in medium attacks, throw 2 to 3 special ones depending on the matchup, and then build up to your special 2, throw your special 2, and then cycle special ones until the Fury expires, and then you just want to repeat the process. So I will cover the rest of the abilities in the defensive kit, but those Ember charges are probably one of the most important things for Dark Phoenix on offense. You want to stack up as many of those as possible to then throw your special 2, and then cycle special ones after the fact. So let's just go fight a very basic opponent here when Star-Lord. One additional thing to note, Dark Phoenix can pulverize armor with her heavy attack. I believe she can pulverize up to 2 armor buffs or armor effects on the opponent, and when you pulverize these armors, you gain an Ember charge per armor that you pulverize. So 2 per heavy attack. If the opponent has a lot of armor, you pulverize 2 armor passives or armor buffs, you gain 2 Ember charges. So Dark Phoenix on offense. She's very simple to use on offense. Defense is where things get a little more complicated. You're going to see that I start with that safeguard buff. Very powerful safeguard. Do not underestimate its powerfulness. And then, as you can see, I'm finishing my combos on medium attacks, and I'm gaining these Ember charges. I want to throw a special one at around 1.8 to 1.9 bars of power, which is going to give me a power gain buff and unstoppable buff, and also additional Ember charges. Throw another special one, and then throw one more special one. Now I'm at 15 Ember charges. I have the power gain buff shooting me right to a special 2, and this Fury gains increased potency per Ember charge. So obviously, the more Ember charges you have, the more damage you'll be dealing. And as you can see, that damage is pretty damn solid. 52k heavy crit to end the fight there. That's the rotation for Dark Phoenix on offense for most matchups. For short, medium, and like not as long as Everest content, but longer form content where health pools are like in the low millions. That matchup or that rotation is what you want to do for Dark Phoenix. So let's show that off again for a longer fight where you actually are going to be able to see the damage from that Fury. So, like I said, the special one gives you Ember charges and also gives you a power gain buff and an unstoppable buff, which gives you easy openings and easy access to throwing additional special attacks. You want to be finishing your combos on mediums to build up your Ember charges, and then once you get to, like I said, around 1.8, 1.9 bars of power, you want to start spamming your special ones until you are at 15 Ember charges to then go throw your special 2. Every time the safeguard prevents a threshold of damage from being dealt to you, you also gain an Ember charge. That's more important on defense, but it can be useful on offense. Now we throw the special 2. This Star-Lord has, I believe, around 500,000 health, and you're going to see that it doesn't necessarily matter that he has 500,000 health. We are still going to absolutely nuke him down with Dark Phoenix. We're going to start replacing the old Nova Flames with the new, stronger Nova Flames, and before Star-Lord even has a chance to do anything, there's 500,000 health down in just 9 more seconds. Since we're here and since we're doing this whole lane, let's go fight the bigger Star-Lord as well, just to show off what it looks like to do that full rotation with the big Nova Flames, with the big Fury. The same loop. Dark Phoenix is very simple for short, medium, and long form content. She is a little different in Everest content, but it's honestly not that different. I will explain what I mean by that in just a second here after I finish this long form Star-Lord. Going to just use the Unstoppable to give myself an opening. throw one more special 1 to get the power gain. Throw the special 2. Even the basic Nova Flames are dealing a pretty substantial amount of damage, but obviously the bigger Nova Flames, now that I have the Fury, are going to deal a lot more damage. Not to mention 24k medium crits and 15k light attack crits from that Fury. Pretty solid stuff. Now we're at 15 Ember Charges, and the name of the game is just spamming special 1s until that Fury expires, because the more Nova Flames I can trigger with the big Fury, the more damage I'm going to be dealing to Star-Lord before the Fury goes away, and I should be able to finish this matchup before needing to refresh my Fury. If not, I'm just going to go and kill him with the special 2 itself, which I think I'm just going to do right now. So the Fury just expired, and I'm killing him with another special 2. So Dark Phoenix has a range of around 1.2 million with that one single loop with the Fury. If you're in Everest content like like Abyss, Necropolis, stuff that has health pools in the multi-millions, so 5, 6, 7 million health, I'm going to show you exactly what you're going to want to do in those matchups. So let's go fight Labyrinth Star-Lord. Actually, you know what? We'll fight Abyss Iron Man Infinity War so I can show off the armor pulverized. I think that's a more realistic matchup to show off for Dark Phoenix. So Abyss Iron Man has 2.7 million health, which is a substantial amount more than the Star-Lord I just fought. And he also has armor to pulverize for Dark Phoenix, so it's going to make that ramp up even easier. So, like I said, you want to throw that heavy attack to pulverize the armor. You're going to get Ember Charges based on the amount of armor you've pulverized, up to a max of 2 armors per heavy attack. This speeds up the ramp significantly in high armor matches like Iron Man Infinity War. I'm still going to want to throw my special 1 to gain my power gain, but the difference in Everest content like this is after I throw that first special 2, I want to try to rush to my special 3. What that's going to do is that's going to place a permanent Nova Flame on the opponent, which will deal a significant amount of damage over the rest of the fight. So I've thrown my special 2, and now I want to build up to my special 3 before that first Fury expires, and that is going to let the permanent Nova Flame from the special 3 be significantly stronger for, like I said, the rest of the matchup. So just going to bait this special 2 from Iron Man here. Getting hit actually doesn't matter, and it'll probably allow me to show off a really cool part of Dark Phoenix's kit. Now, of course, I don't want to take a full combo to the face here. Ideally, I can, survive a little bit. And I will show off the immortality in this fight, don't worry, on offense. I promise I will. So me getting hit there actually is to my benefit. But now, as you can see, I have a big, long power gain buff. That's a 100% power gain buff. And I also have 3 additional permanent Ember Charges that will not go away. So when you throw your special 3, you're basically setting yourself up to just be stronger and stronger in Everest content. Now I've thrown my special 2 again. I'm going to throw one special 1 here, and then I'm just going to go for my medium combos, and then my my heavy attacks to pulverize the armor, getting back to another special 3. Now, in a smaller Everest fight like this, you don't necessarily need to go for 2 or 3 special 3s. I just like to, because by the time you get to your third special 3, the opponent's basically dead. You can stack 3 of these permanent Nova Flames on the opponent, and once you do that, once you have 3 of those permanent Nova Flames, the name of the game is just special 2, special 1 spam, just like every other matchup. So now, as you can see, I have those Nova Flames ticking. One of them is for 2.9k damage per second, and one of them is for 3,500 per second, or 3,500 per tick. So 7,000 per second, and the other one is knocking on the door of 6,000 damage per second. Just crazy stuff here from Dark Phoenix. Now, I am going to get a little clobbered at the end of the match here. It's actually good that I got hit, so I could remember to show off the immortality. Dark Phoenix, when she's awakened... Actually, I don't even know if she needs to be awakened for this. I think she just has it in her base kit. Dark Phoenix has an incredibly powerful immortality. Now, this immortality is going to allow her to basically survive special 3s like this, which deal an incredible amount of damage, and also, the immortality, while it's active, all of the energy damage that is being dealt to the opponent, you are healing. So look at this. Look at this. I'm taking full combos to the face, and it does not matter. He just dies. I don't even need to hit him again. He just completely dies, and I finish the fight with 100% health, a full yellow bar. That right there is absolutely ridiculous. And that's just a little taste of what Dark Phoenix looks like in Everest content. Now, let's go talk about Dark Phoenix on defense. Now, Dark Phoenix on defense. This is where you really need to read the ability kit. You have to understand what's going on in the matchup before going in and trying to fight her, because you could get a little clobbered if you have no idea what's going on with this defender. So, signature ability, something to note right away, something that you will have to deal with in every single matchup. As a defender, gain a Phoenix Rising charge at 5 plus Ember charges. Now, what Phoenix Rising is, it's her immortality. It allows her to trigger her immortality. Now, as a defender, she always starts the matchup with 5 Ember charges. So the signature ability basically just says, hey, you're always going to have to deal with this immortality on defense every single time. So that part of the signature ability is the most important part and is probably the most relevant part for her defensive kit specifically. Now, like I said, these Ember charges are great on offense, but they are also just as great on defense because you're increasing the potency of the Nova Flame passive by 20% per charge. Now, her Safeguard. She starts the fight with a 5% Safeguard buff, which lasts for 10.5 seconds, and it refreshes itself if it has not been triggered. If it is triggered, it will reactivate after 10 seconds, and the safeguard, it prevents damage. Obviously it's a 5% safeguard buff. The potency of the safeguard is actually increased with the signature ability, but for the most part just worry about it being a low safeguard buff that will cap most damage. Additionally, at 5 ember charges, the safeguard also reduces the potency of incoming damaging effects and power stings from champions by 75%. So instant damage, damage over time, power sting, all of that gets reduced by 75% with this safeguard. That is incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. Now, a Phoenix Rising Nova Flame. Like you saw in the offensive showcase, you can have up to 3 of these Nova Flame passives up at one time, not including the special 3 Nova Flames, those are special, but in generic matchups, you will have up to 3 of these Nova Flames on you or on your opponent at one time. Ideally, you don't have many more than one Nova Flame on yourself at a time, because these Nova Flames deal a lot of damage, and they also reduce your block proficiency by 60%, which is pretty substantial. Now, very important part of the kit here. As a defender, this scales with base attack only, so modified attack does not increase the damage. And if Dark Phoenix is suffering from a poison when this Nova Flame is activated, the duration is reduced by 20% per poison. Max reduction from poison for non-mystics is 40%. So a champion like Eyebomb, a champion like Archangel with poisons, inflicting these poisons will reduce the duration of the Nova Flame passive by up to 40%. If you're using a Mystic, however, you can reduce it by up to 100%. So Mystics with active poisons, those are your best friend for Dark Phoenix. Or champions that can destroy immortality. We'll get to that in just a second here. So the special attacks right here, probably the second most important part of the kit. Upon finishing her special attack, Dark Phoenix continues siphoning energy from the Phoenix Force. Upon expiry, she inflicts the opponent with her Nova Flame passive once that 3-second timer expires. Striking her during this time, right here, disrupts her channeling, reducing the duration of the Nova Flame by 13% per hit. So, if you're running with a champion that has poison, and also you can land hits after the special 2, ideally, you don't want to bait the special 1 at all, basically. You bait a special 2, you have poisons on Dark Phoenix, and you get in a full combo, you can reduce that Nova Flame duration by either its entirety or by 80 to 90% based on hitting her and also having poisons on her. So, the special one, like I showed off in the offensive video, you gain an unstoppable buff for 5 seconds. As an attacker, its duration is decreased by 5% per charge. Not on defense, though. And you will also gain 3 Ember charges, and if you're above 5, which she will always be above 5 on defense when the fight starts, she gains a power gain buff granting 15% of max power over 5 seconds. The name of the game is don't bait Special 1 at all. Do not bait Special 1. Special 2 is where you want to go. On activation, Dark Phoenix inflicts a root passive until after the last hit of the special attack. Just makes this a little more annoying, but it is manageable. I promise I will show you how to dex it. On activation, she also gains this Big Fury buff, which again is increased by the Ember charges. Its potency is increased. And then um, after this special attack, this is when you want to get in your combos and potentially apply your poisons and whatnot. So Dark Phoenix, some of the best counters for her are Mystics with poisons, champions in general with poison, and champions with inflated combo meters like Okoye and Quicksilver. So let's go fight Dark Phoenix. So let's go fight Dark Phoenix. Something that you're going to notice right away is a lot of these matchups are not going to be super pretty. That's just sort of the name of the game with Dark Phoenix. There is a lot of chip damage for most champions fighting her, but not for every champion fighting her. So let's start off with one of the best counters, Spiral. Spiral can destroy Dark Phoenix's immortality buff, and Spiral also has an inflated combo meter, which allows her to reduce the duration of that Nova Flame passive even further. So with Spiral, the name of the game is Special 1 spam. I have found that to be the most effective way to deal with Dark Phoenix is to Special 1 spam, and also blocking the first hit of the Special 2 when you bait Special 2 with Dark Phoenix. That will allow you to destroy the Fury buff, which will reduce the damage that's dealt during your, block. And it also gives you another buff to handle the, what's it called? To increase your Rupture buff potency. So as you can see, I completely reduced the duration of Dark Phoenix's Nova Flame. I also destroyed her Fury buff, which means she cannot deal a nice big chunk of damage to me because she no longer has that Fury buff. Now, I'm going to full combo, throw my Dancing Blades, and there goes Dark Phoenix. Now, as you can see earlier in the match, I blocked the Heat Wave during the Special 2 instead of just blocking the first hit. That's all spacing dependent, and as long as you're just blocking the Special 2 with Spiral, you're going to destroy that Fury buff, turn it into rubble, and reduce a lot of the damage that she would deal during your block. So Spiral is a fantastic option. So now let's show off Okoye versus Dark Phoenix. Don't worry, I will show Diablo. Even at the rank 2 level, Diablo is just so incredibly good for Dark Phoenix. The regen, the poison, everything he's got going on, Diablo is just so good for her. But Okoye and champions like Quicksilver, who have the inflated combo meter, are also very good for Dark Phoenix. So Okoye has this Ensnare debuff whenever she triggers Dex, and that can turn off some of Dark Phoenix's shenanigans on defense. So I'm going to Dex a couple of times before getting into the matchup here, and now I'm going to go for my full combos, going for Special 2 baits only. I'm not going to bait Special 1, and then I'm going to throw my Special 2 when I get the opportunity. The Special 2 dex for Dark Phoenix is 1 dex, but as you can see, Okoye turned off the root with that Ensnare. You gotta love it. Now we throw a Special 2 with Okoye, building up even more of those bleeds and shocks. As you can see, a single dex from the Special 2. I'm going to throw a Special 1 here to pause those debuffs. She throws her Special 1. It doesn't matter because we are basically at the end of the matchup. Now, if I were really lucky, I could have prevented the immortality from triggering, but not every time you're going to get that luck. So at the end of the day, Okoye is a solid option for Dark Phoenix, and she can survive this matchup. Now, if I would have turned off that immortality, the fight would have been over, and I would have had a lot more health, but even then, Okoye is still very solid. And if you have the Assassin Mastery, which I don't necessarily recommend running, but it might actually be useful for Dark Phoenix with Okoye specifically, you could have a lot more consistency in turning off that immortality. So now let's show off Diablo against Dark Phoenix, one of the better options for Dark Phoenix. Something to note, this pre-fight right here, Distilled Will, allows you to regen a portion of the energy damage dealt to you, just in case you happen to mess up and get a Nova Flame on you. You have that pre-fight, which is going to heal you whenever you have your Philosopher's Mix. So the name of the game with Diablo is throwing heavy attacks at the start of the fight to get up at least 5 or 6 poisons, and then once you do have those 5 or 6 poisons, throw your special 1 to pause them, and then ideally you get to your special 2, and you just spam those for probably the rest of the fight. As you can see, I did not dex the special 2 there from Dark Phoenix, I just blocked it, and the Distilled Will passive regened the block damage because it's energy. Throw another special 1 here to pause the poisons. You can throw either special 1s or special 2s. I actually like throwing special 1s because it just keeps the poisons topped up. I don't have to worry about, rushing back to a special 2 to refresh them. I just end up pausing them with the special 1. And then she's going to trigger the immortality, but I'm not going to get a Nova Flame on me because I'm reducing the duration. So now I just need to wait out that immortality. I can just dash back and wait for it to expire. And there's a 100% health finish with Diablo against Dark Phoenix pretty effortlessly. All you need to do is throw those heavy attacks, throw either special 1s or special 2s, and you're really not going to have to worry about anything with Dark Phoenix when using Diablo. Now, one more match I do want to show off in this video is Shathra. One more matchup I want to show off in this video is Shathra. Now, I do have Quicksilver on the team here, and Quicksilver sort of just a reminder that any champion with an inflated combo meter will be solid for Dark Phoenix, because you're going to reduce the duration of all Nova Flames up until that last one, so just a little reminder there visually. Shathra. Shathra's pretty good for Dark Phoenix because she has energy resistance, and she reduces the duration of buffs, so with Shathra, you want to throw a couple of special 1s, and then heavy charge into your special 2 a handful of times, and by the time you do that, Dark Phoenix will more or less be dead. That atrophy passive is reducing the duration of all of these buffs, so because of that, you are going to be able to reliably reduce the duration of that immortality passive at the end of the fight. I'm going to go for a full combo here, and then a heavy charge into a special 2. I'm going to heavy charge right back into another special 2 here. Just need to let Dark Phoenix calm down a little bit. Here's one more heavy charge into a special 2. I now no longer have the Nova Flame on me, and she also doesn't have the Fury on her. So now, I just need to go to a little special 1 of my own, and bada bing, bada boom, there's Shathra dealing with Dark Phoenix in around 40 to 50 seconds with 94% health remaining. So Shathra at the rank 4 level is incredibly powerful for Dark Phoenix, and I definitely think people will find that she's one of the better options reliably for Dark Phoenix. So I hope this video was informative. This is going to be one of the longer videos in the how-to series for how to fight Dark Phoenix. I think Dark Phoenix is an incredible character. She's such a powerful defender and obviously really, really strong on attack. So yeah, let me know if this video was helpful for you, and if it was, please consider dropping a like and also subscribing to the channel. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.